In the America I see, the permanent politician will finally retire. We'll have term limits for Congress. And mandatory mental competency tests for politicians over 75 years old.
Whew. Boy, I tell you, Ambassador Nikki Haley made some serious waves with that proposal when she launched her campaign in February. The competency issue now has been front and center since the president announced his re-election bid 1 week ago today. First Lady Jill Biden defending Joe Biden.
Nikki Haley, one of the Republican candidates, is calling for mental competency tests for those politicians over the age of 75. What do you think about that?
Ridiculous.
Would your husband ever take one of those?
I mean, we haven't even discussed, we would never even discuss something like that.
That's not exactly a no. Now look at what the Democrats are doing. Some fellow Democrats are calling for Senator Dianne Feinstein of California to resign. She's missed dozens of votes and has been out with an illness for 2 months. She's 89 years old. Ambassador Haley, in a Fox News op-ed, says this about Feinstein. At 89 years old, she is a prime example of why we need mental competency tests for politicians. Nikki Haley in focus now. Great to see you. All right, so how are the two arguments different? Is this about age? Is this about competency, or both?
You know, it's not about age, sexism, or anything. This is about transparency. This is about the fact that Republicans and Democrats deserve to know whether the people they send to D.C. are at the top of their game. I mean, look at the decisions being made. This is about the national security of America. This is about the economic future for our children. This is about the educational future. We need to know people are up at the top of their game. Here you have Biden last week, Harris. He didn't even know where he was the week before. A little child had to tell him that. You know, he doesn't know how many grandchildren he has, which now we see Hunter's not paying child support, so I get why he's confused about that. But this is about the fact that we've got to make sure that people are up to their mental fitness to be able to make these decisions. I don't care if you do it at 50 or over, but don't the American people deserve transparency to be able to say that, yes, they're at the top of their game? These competency tests are very simple. They're just about naming things that start with the same letter. It's about what month it is. It's about what day it is. I mean, this is a serious issue because we all now know a vote for President Biden is a vote for President Harris. And that's not, you know, hurting anybody's feelings or being disrespectful. That's a fact.
Well, and the fact is he would be 82 on Inauguration Day. You're talking about the Vice President, Kamala Harris, there in the wings as her job as VP. But then as you approach the end of that potential second term, he'd be 86. I mean, that is up in age, and the stress on that job is huge. One last word about what is going on across the aisle, though. Why is it not okay for you to talk about competency testing, but it's okay for Democrats, some of them, to say it's time for Dianne Feinstein at 89 to go?
You know, it's interesting. They're doing that politically because they are worried that their judges aren't getting through. And so they want to focus on the fact that, oh, no, she should absolutely stay. But let's call it for what it is. I've always spoken hard truths. If you are 89 years old, if you are unable to function, if you are unable to do your job, it's in the best interest of your constituents, but it's in the best interest of the country that you step down. That's what she's had a wonderful career, and I, you know, respect all the years that she's put in. But this is exactly why I'm for term limits and mental competency tests over the age of 75. We've got to have. We've never had a problem like we have now with $31 trillion in debt, with illegal immigration that's out of control, with our kids having trouble in school, with the idea that crime is at ridiculous levels, with a foreign policy that's weak as we've ever seen it. We can't afford to worry about hurting people's feelings. We can't afford to sit there and play these seniority or political games. We've got to protect America. We've got a country to save, and it's time for us to get to work and do that.
Yeah, it's interesting that some of the Democrats on the other side of the aisle who want her to resign don't exactly give that list. Politics come into play, but they are split on this. We'll have to see how it turns out. But they won't touch the man in the White House who, as you gave some recent examples, for why perhaps testing wouldn't be a bad idea. They don't want to touch that. The issue of transgender treatments for children seems to be going right to the top as we do the run-up to 2024. I mean, it's getting hotter by the day. Biden's Assistant Secretary for Health, Admiral Rachel Levine, kicked off Adolescent Health Month by promoting resources on, quote, sexual and reproductive health. Devine identifies as transgender and has supported child sex changes. Last year, she said transgender youth are supported at the highest levels of the administration. The political divide is crystal clear. The growing number of red states are enacting laws restricting or banning trans treatment for children. Look at the map. More and more blue states are making laws that mandate minors access to trans treatments, even without the knowledge of their very own parents. Look at the map. I know your rival for the 2024 nomination, Vivek Ramaswamy, made his position very clear. Let's watch together.
Below the age of 18, I think it's perfectly legitimate to say that we won't allow genital mutilation or chemical castration through puberty blockers.
There's a lot of scientific research out there that says gender is a spectrum.
I respectfully disagree. Gender dysphoria for most of our history, all the way through the DSM-5, has been characterized as a mental health disorder.
If that is what they think could help their child pursue happiness, why take away that option?
Part of why parents now suddenly feel that way, let's ask ourselves that. There's no doubt that the cultural movement in this country, even education, is creating more gender dysphoria.
Ambassador Haley, what is your take on all of this? How do you insert your voice in this conversation?
Well, first of all, look at how ridiculous it is that we are focusing on a small minority of kids and taking away the emphasis from the majority of kids who desperately need help. I spoke to a senior in high school last week, and she said she's scared to even speak because there's so much conversation about transgender conversations in school that they're scared to say anything for or against. But let's keep in mind, if you have to be 18 to get a tattoo, and that's permanently changing your body. If you have to be 18 to get a Costco card, why are we talking about changing genders before the age of 18? Why can't we wait until that child is an adult to make that decision for themselves? That's just common sense. Why are we even having this conversation? Why don't we talk about the fact that 80% of our that 70% of our 8th graders around this country are not proficient in reading? Why don't we talk about 67% of our 8th graders are not proficient in math? Why don't we talk about that and how we're going to graduate our kids? Why are we talking about a small minority of kids that you're trying to make sure that you go and prop them up to make them make permanent bodily decisions that are not even at the level that they can handle that decision yet? I mean, it's just child abuse at this point. But more than that, it's a distraction. And it goes to show why when America's distracted, the world is less safe. And we're seeing this because we're having these ridiculous conversations that are not front and center to what our children need right now, which is schools, transparency for parents, and making sure that parents have more control, not less.
Absolutely. How they keep us out of medical decisions for our children is just another example of control, control, control. But you hit the nail on the head. Our enemies are loving watching this, though, and it puts us in such a capitulated, dangerous position. Great to have you in focus today. Ambassador Haley, thank you.
Thanks, Harris.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.